welcome to Just the Job. This is the show that profiles the huge range of careers on offer to career seekers in New Zealand today. And this week, you're going to need a head for heights. First up, Daniel from Tauranga gets the grips with some big boys toys as he discovers what it takes to have a career as a crane driver. Then Brant from Whangarei flexes his muscles as he spends a couple of days sampling a career in the scaffolding industry. And finally, Dallas from Matamata is up on the roof in the Waikato as he finds out what it takes to have a successful career in the roofing industry. So let's get started and meet potential crane driver Daniel.
Hi, my name's Daniel. I'm 17 from Mount Maunganui and I'm learning what it takes to work in and around cranes.
Daniel's headed to Heb Construction at Mount Maunganui. Heb is a large civil engineering company. Among their many construction projects, they build roads and bridges. Daniel already has a part-time job here and he's keen to learn about cranes.
Nice to meet you, Daniel.
Yeah, Marnie, Heb Structures.
Marnie Wilkinson is a crane supervisor for Heb.
I started myself as just a hammer hand. Got into the crane slowly. There's a skill there that no one can just instantly have and know everything about it. Patience is really the hardest one. It doesn't come straight away. We also need to know a lot of that, obviously the theory and the rigging behind things to know that what you're actually lifting is going to be safe. I suppose there's a lot of responsibility there. If you're running someone in a man cage and you're taking them to a certain height, the responsibilities are all on you, that you're going to bring them home safely at night.
The Mount Maunganui Heb site makes precast concrete panels and beams for structures and roading projects. Lee Lidlow supervises training here.
The precast yard that we've got here, just over to the left here, they'll make anything in this part of the yard, and everything is done with cranes moving the precast concrete around.
So time for Daniel's first driving lesson with Marnie.
Well, here we have a 7-tonne RK70, which is probably a perfect start for someone who's wants to learn the ropes. It's quite simple to drive. Yep. Well, as you see on your left-hand side, you've got 2 levers there. This red one is your slew, that'll make you go left and right. This one's the winch. This is boom up and boom down. So if you pull it towards you, it's going to go up. If you boom down, it'll go down. So if you want to gently hold the red lever, and if you slowly pull that towards you, without pushing this forward at all, just try and hold just that one lever. The RK70. They're so mobile and useful that even today on our major bridge jobs that they end up coming on to move moulds or put on barriers with less footprint. So that's the benefits of being light.
Yeah, that was the first time I've operated and picked up something, and it's definitely harder than it looks. So what's this crane?
This is our P&H 125-tonne yard crane. It's served its purpose out on our sites back in the day, and now it's back in our yard. It does all our precast lifts.
So what's hard about driving these cranes?
You have to have the ability to be able to multitask your hands and try and do more than 3 things at the same time, as well as be able to predict hazards as they arise.
Modern cranes are complex and drivers need to commit themselves to considerable training. The Skills Organisation is there to help.
The qualifications vary, so from 12 months to perhaps 24 months. And depending on the equipment they're using and how technical the particular equipment is will depend on the length of the qualification. The support we provide to the apprentices and the trainees is varied, including literacy, numeracy, support with their reading, and then perhaps later in some of the other qualifications they do, there is also support for perhaps leadership and some management training.
Back in the yard, panels are being moved. They are extremely heavy and have to be lifted into the vertical position using a special table.
He's going to set one set of chains onto the tilt table. Then we're going to lift that tilt table up to almost the vertical. And then a guy goes up on the ladder, as we can see here. And he's always hooked on with an inertia reel to stop him from falling. He goes up there to transfer the chains onto the concrete panel. The crane operator, Stu, up there, is going to be slewing and is going to be luffing up at the same time to get that panel off the bed and up into a vertical position.
Oh, okay,
So we've got to slew around over the rear of the crane and put the panel into the toe strap to support it.
Heb are building a section of the new Waikato Expressway. the largest structure of the project is the Karapiro Gully Viaduct. Today, huge casings are being hammered into the ground. They will provide the foundations to support the viaduct.
What we see here, we've got a 280-tonne crane here. It's installing casings up the top here, which is obviously going to be our foundations for our bridge.
Yep.
They'll be going into maybe 30 to 40 metres into the ground.
Before they head down to the site, Daniel finds out about the signals used by the crane driver's dogman, the driver's on-ground assistant.
So that's going to be up on the hook, right?
Yep.
And this is going to be down on the hook.
Yep.
And we luff up. That's you lifting your boom up. There's luff down, take the boom down. The 280 is pretty much your pride of our fleet, but it's saying that it's modern, it's got every safety feature there is, it's got cameras, but its operation isn't that fast, which is perfect for new guys as well.
This 280 is around $2 million worth of gear, and lucky for Daniel, he's getting the chance to give it a go.
This is your main hook, the auxiliary, and your boom.
Yep.
And they're quite close together, so you can actually operate them within your fingers.
Oh, yep.
So we just slowly go around. We've got no one there. We're good to slew. We're not going to hit anything behind us. If you go up on the hook,
Yep.
feel that click?
Yep. Yeah, I feel that.
Cool, eh? The computer side of things, you know, the radius is letting you all know your boom angles, all that's new. In the old days, you know, all you had was, if you were lucky, was a bell telling you were overloaded. Now we've got traffic lights telling you that when you're in the orange, you're getting there. When you're in the red, you're pretty much down the road. Daniel's shown us very good promise. He's light on his hands and he's understands what the computer's about and how the ratings work. And yeah, we've thoroughly enjoyed showing him.
Yeah, it's been good, been interesting. Learning lots of things, picking up some objects and moving the cranes around was, yeah, a real good experience.
The Skills organisation manages industry training for all crane operating jobs. You can start at 16 years old as a general construction hand and work your way up to dogman and then operator. The Crane Certificate program has level 3 certificates for dogman and crane operator. Training involves a certain amount of theory, but the greater part is hands-on. You are part of the future of New Zealand with a sense of pride in building something New Zealanders use. Well done, Daniel. After the break, Brent discovers what's involved in a career in scaffolding. You're watching Just the Job, and this week we're checking out careers in cranes, scaffolding and roofing. Brant's up next, taking a look at the scaffolding industry.
G'day, my name's Brant Shulin. I'm from Whangarei. I go to Carmel High School and I'm interested in finding out about scaffolding.
Brant's headed to Northland Scaffolding in Whangarei. The company's 4 crews provide a service from Warkworth to the far north. Chris Douglas is the managing director.
It's a nice orange shirt.
Gee, thanks, mate.
Well, scaffolding as an industry is an interesting job. You're always on the move. You're going to different sites, different areas of the country every day. You're in the fresh air, you're enjoying the environment around you. You're generally working with a good bunch of people in this construction industry. Yeah, Brent, when you normally start in the scaffolding industry, one of your first tasks you'd be expected to do would be work in a yard situation. Well, you're stacking scaffold, you're servicing scaffold clips, you're painting scaffolding equipment, and that's learning about the componentry of the systems of scaffolding that you would use.
Yep. These are the components for the traditional system, tube and coupler. It's reliable and trusted.
So here's the basic in scaffolding equipment, tube and coupler scaffolding, which involves just your couplers being swivel or fixed and your galvanised tube.
This is a more recent German frame system, which is very quick to put up.
Simple systems like putting handrails together, fast attached clips, hit it with a hammer and you're off onto the next one.
This ring clamp system is fast to put together too.
The system simply slots in, pin goes in, hit with a hammer and your connections together.
First lesson, erecting a simple metre-wide tower using both old and new systems.
There's 2 sizes on there, so grab the biggest one and do our nut up tight. You'll start at the bottom level and everybody works their way up. Don't expect to be jumping up on top of the scaffold and building the scaffold in the first week. Okay, we're going to join these 2 tubes together with a horizontal tube. Pull it in nice and tight, push it down. Okay, we want to do that bolt up now and do up our doubles. Now that's your finished product. Now we're going to show you an example of a slightly more modern system. If you pick up one of those, we're going to put it at the same time as we did last time with our tube. We'll grab one of our transoms and locate it on the inside. It goes into the slot, and we grab our hammer and we give it just a quick tap. It's a good physical job, keeps you in great shape. It's like a workout. Every day the boys come to work, it's like a workout. They're lifting steel products all day, every day, so there's a lot of them in pretty good shape.
So time to look at some jobs. First to a supermarket site where scaffolding's being built right along the new front of a building.
It's quick and very versatile, easy to put up. It's a straight face, big long face, nice safe systems, internal access hatchways, so you haven't got the old ladder on the outside of the scaffold having to try and crawl back in.
This construction site in Whangarei is a new road bridge. Alongside there's a temporary footbridge constructed entirely with scaffolding.
It's created a pedestrian access with nice good grip on the deck, an access way while they're building this bridge. Okay, and over here we've got a hanging scaffold off the side of a bridge. For obvious purposes, we can't build the scaffold in the sediment and the risk of floods, etc. So we've created a series of structures across the bridge to hang the scaffold down the side of it.
Equipment's being loaded for a house that's to be re-roofed. In charge of the team is Darren Bailey.
Darren, I'd like to introduce you to Brant.
Brant is heading off to help build the scaffold that will surround the house.
First things we're going to do, we're going to walk around the house. We'll have a look at where the scaffold's going to be built. So basically what we're going to be looking for is the hazards that we're going to come across today. Things like the hose on the ground there. Got power lines up here.
The gear needed is walked onto the site and the job can begin.
You've got 3-4 guys on site. You're there to help each other. It certainly balances. You create good relationships because you're working closely from the man on the ground that's taking the gear off the truck, handing it to the people that are building. It's a link. If one person doesn't connect in that link, then the whole process falls apart.
Training for our scaffolding trainees is more than just learning about nuts and bolts. It's for myself as the area business manager, it's supporting our trainees in all facets of their training so that at the end of the day they'll complete their training on time and come out absolutely confident and able to do their job.
Kurt Douglas is an apprentice with Northland Scaffolding and is enjoying the job.
What do you like about it?
The physical side of the work. You know, you're always lifting and sweating, man. You're always sweating outside every day, always doing something different.
When working at height, safety is paramount. Whenever there's a vulnerable situation, a harness needs to be worn.
What is it attached to?
So what you do is you attach the hook here, which opens like that. What you do is you attach it to something above you.
Yep.
You never attach a lanyard below you.
Always above.
Always above.
Yep.
There's neat people in this industry. The construction industry is generally people that are positive, they're progressive, they're building things. And whether you want to follow the field to become through to an advanced scaffolder, or whether you want to own your own company, the opportunities are endless in scaffolding. Well done, mate. Good effort.
Thank you. Oh, it's been pretty good, eh? Had a good experience here, meeting new people. Yeah, it's just been an all-around good experience.
There are no entry requirements, but to become qualified, you must do an apprenticeship. Various New Zealand or national certificates in scaffolding are available, and the Skills Organisation provides training support. You need to be fit, like the outdoors, not afraid of heights, and will train on the job. Well, Brant seems to have gotten to grips with that career. Dallas is up next looking at roofing careers, but first, here's Sarah from Careers New Zealand.
Thanks, Clinton. Well, this week's show has a building theme, and there is a wide range of great career opportunities there for the taking. Christchurch is booming, and there are good job prospects across the New Zealand building industry as a whole. If you want to find out more about all the different training options available, check out careers.govt.nz.
Thank you, Sarah. After the break, we're up on the roof in the Waikato with Dallas.
Hi, I'm Dallas. I'm from Matamata, and I'm interested in finding out about roofing.
There's always going to be the need for a roof over your head. It might be a tiled or steel roof for your home, or a long-run corrugated steel roof for your place of work. It's the job of a roofer to keep out the weather and make it look good. Dallas is headed to Comag, a roofing firm based in Matamata.
G'day mate, I'm Chris.
G'day, I'm Dallas.
Chris Henderson, operations manager and a director, will be checking out Dallas's head for heights at 2 roofing jobs currently on his books.
So you ready for a hard day's work?
Yeah, mate. Just bring it on.
It was only 10, 15 years ago there was no such thing as a roofing, solely roofer. It used to be plumbers did everything. It's become a lot more of a specialist trade, like a lot of trades have. There's a lot more technical stuff that some of our roofers do today that the plumbers wouldn't have a clue how to do. Once you've been doing it for a while, anyone can pretty much lay iron. It's the finishing of jobs and the flashings and looking good and being weather tight and staying that way sort of 20, 25 years and beyond.
The tin tiles of this house have served it well for 40 years or more, but they've done their dash and they have to go.
What we do here is we'll take an area of old tiles off, leave it for the builders, and we'll go away and take another area of tiles off. Then we'll come back and roof the first part while they work on the second part. So Wade's one of our apprentices. He's been here with us for about a year and a half. He's going to show you, he's up there working already, so we'll introduce you to him and get into it. Right, Wade, this is Dallas. He's going to try his hand at roofing. We'll hand him over to you and we'll get into some work.
Okay, Dallas, we're going to start off taking this hip off. This is the main area we're going to work on at the moment.
You've got to be able to be good with the heights. Obviously, at interview stage, it's one of the main questions that gets asked. Have you been at heights before? Because some people do get the freeze bug.
Start on your lap down here.
Got to be able to be pretty nimble and work at heights quite comfortably.
And before you drop it off, just yell clear. Make sure no one's down there so it doesn't hit them.
Clear.
This sheet of steel has to be cut to neatly fit along the valley on the roof.
Right, so grab your tape out, hook into your tape over that end. So come out 4 metres, 190, get your pencil out and put a mark there. I'd say 90% of roofs these days are iron, simply just because of the speed that it can go on and it looks good and because of the speed it's going on, it's probably more cost effective than some of the other options. So yeah, there's a couple of main materials. One's Endura, so these are the base materials of the colour steel that we use these days. Most of the countryside would be Endura, and then you get Max, which is for more severe marine sort of conditions, so where salt spray would come off the ocean and areas like that.
Roofers may have to replace poor or rotting timbers, add insulation and line with building paper before a new steel roof is fitted.
So there's Dallas, now we've chucked that sheet on and screwed it in. We're going to mark our purlins, so you need to put your hand like that. Make sure you've got a fair idea of the middle. I
guess to start with, for a young guy's perspective, is to work well with the team. You know, it's a good part about this job is you have a good team around you, and you know it's not a one-man job.
And the roof is looking good, something Dallas can be proud of. Visiting the site today is team leader Sarah Williams from Skills, the multi-industry training organisation.
So we have a number of strands depending on the kind of work that you're going to be doing in the industry. So metal roofing, wall cladding, concrete roof tiles, etc. So the apprentice will come, when he finishes the qualification, or she finishes the qualification, they will come out of it with a level 4 certificate, which is very well regarded and will stand them in good stead in the industry. It also stands them in good stead with regards to pay parity and pay within the organisation. A lot of employers now base their pay rates around qualified apprentices.
Chris from Comag, who recently gained a Roofer of the Year accolade, is rightly proud of some of his more difficult jobs. This, the Kaimai Cheese Factory, had a very steep roof with many safety issues to be addressed.
There's definitely lots of curves and angles and sort of little tight corners that was involved with that, and then curved sheets and curved flashings are always a challenge, so yeah.
Using roofing steel to clad the walls of industrial buildings is a roofer's job too.
Horizontal cladding's sort of a feature thing for a building, so it will help make a building stand out and look pretty out there. So yeah, the cladding's definitely a big part of roofing.
There's a wide range of products and finishes for both domestic and industrial needs. Dallas is headed to Tauranga manufacturers, Steel and Tube, to learn more. Huge coils of zinc and aluminium coated steel are lifted onto a machine which presses it into the shape or profile that's required. The length is accurately measured to each customer's requirement.
Right, so here's some of the coils that are commonly used in roofing and wall cladding for some buildings. There's plenty of colours to choose from for the clients. There's actually 26 primary colours, which is, you know, there's quite a few more nowadays than what used to be on the market.
Corrugate, the traditional profile, is still widely used, but there's many others. This is a 5-rib design. Time to head to another job. This one, a new McDonald's outlet in Hamilton. The building is now well underway. The gutters are being lined with butanol, a synthetic rubber membrane. It's another example of a roofer's job. The flashings, which is the work around the penetrations, are being made.
Dallas is Avion. He's running this job, so I'll hand you over to him.
Dallas, how you going?
G'day, Evan, all right?
Yeah, good mate, good. We're going to flash this penetration over here behind you. So if you want to grab those flashings there, I'll meet you over there and we'll start from there, eh? So what we're going to do here, we're going to notch out the bottom of this flashing, basically the same as what's happening up the top there. It's always a good challenge doing what we're doing here because you're always constantly learning and like there's never a day that's the same really. And then tomorrow we could be doing a house with a lot of hips and valleys and everything like that. Yeah. And so you basically, the sky's your limit really because you're always going up and up. Now we'll place this flashing down here. What we're going to do is tab these corners around here for this flashing to come down through. So we've got our folding pliers right on that line. I push down on hard surface and up. So what you'll find is your corners will try and dig in a bit.
The best thing about the job is the variety, also the travel. You're not stuck in the same place or even the same town for too long. And also training nowadays, just training the young fellas and watching them grow. Watching them come from pretty much being at school and a few years later being a tradesman and knowing what they're doing themselves, it's pretty rewarding.
Well done, Dallas. Job done.
Yeah, no, he's done pretty well. He's shown pretty of interest, which is always good. It's always good to have a bit of passion about what you do, so yeah, I'd look seriously at employing him.
Of course, at the start, it's always going to be hard, but I've enjoyed roofing. There's still a lot to learn, but I'm willing to give it a go.
The Skills organisation manages industry training for all roofing apprenticeships. You have to get a job first. There are no specific entry requirements, but you need to be fit and have a good head for heights. The New Zealand National Certificate in Roofing Level 4 covers all types of roofing: metal roofing and wall cladding, tiling, membranes and shingles. A growing population means job prospects are good. Well done, Dallas, Brant and Daniel, for all being a part of this week's program. To find out more about the training opportunities and careers from this week's show, plus information about all the careers that we feature in this series, visit our program website at tvnz.co.nz/justthejob or simply Google Just the Job. So good luck, and I'll see you again next week.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.